Kick-Ass isn't the only one making Frank D'Amico even more insane. There's also this weird older guy and his daughter. Let's just say, looks can be deceiving.
Tulip, honey bunny.
Originally, actually, I was going to write the book like a year before I did write it. I was going to make it about Big Daddy and Hit Girl. And I loved the characters. There was just something good about it. I think because I'd become a dad and everything, and I wanted to do a father-daughter team. And my daughter actually said to me, how would you like to maybe create a comic character that I could see? Because all your stuff's usually a bit adult, and, you know. And I created Hit Girl, and it was going to be so charming for 5 minutes. It was going to be lovely, and then it just turned into the worst thing I've ever done. It was just horrible. But then I thought the characters were too cartoony. Like I loved them, but they weren't leads, and it was kind of like Star Wars starring Han Solo and Chewbacca. They were just like great support.
Support that stole the show.
I knew Nick was a huge comic book fan, and so we sent it to him saying, look, you can play either the role of Frank D'Amico or Big Daddy, your choice, and he chose Big Daddy. I knew he'd get it and he'd bring more to the party than I could.
Whenever I can step outside my comfort zone and work with people with a new point of view, a new direction, it always lends itself to some kind of spark.
Cage, he just brought his own thing to it, and it was not the way it was written, but it actually worked so much better.
He made it 3 parts, 3 characters at one. The vindictive cop, the strange father, and this wacko in a costume. And each one had a different affectation. I think that's, I don't know if anybody knew that going in he was going to do something like that.
I love a bench fade model 42 butterfly.
Oh, child, you always knock me for a loop. You know what? I'm going to get you 2. 1 ballad song, 2 ballad song. That's what you get.
This is an extreme take on a father who thinks he's actually protecting his child by teaching her how to be a vigilante, but it's actually the worst thing he could really do.
Hey, I got one of those. She grew up with him for all of her life training, and he taught her everything he knows. And their relationship is, it might be really funny and dysfunctional, but it is. They love each other very much.
Chloe and Nick Cage kick a lot of ass in this movie. She's 11 years old. She did 4 months of training for this movie. We did about like a week and a half of fight training. I know. It gets to the point where it's like I'm exhausted in my one fight scene. I'm like, don't complain, don't complain.
2 months before the movie started, I did a little bit of training, you know, just basics, muzzle safety, taking apart the gun, putting it back together, cleaning it, checking it. Never point it where you're not going to shoot, never put your finger on the trigger, stuff like that.
All right.
And then, you know, I started more, you know, in-depth kind of stuff where, you know, more with ballad songs and how to use the bow staff and, you know, just more stuff that we'd be using in the movie. I did like 90% of my stuff, you know, like running up the walls and stuff obviously wasn't me.
Right.
But, you know, I did all the different stuff.
She did everything that legally we could make her do as well. You know, she was up for everything.
I was, you know, if I could run up a wall, I would totally do it. I mean, if they let me, I would have done it. She's kind of crazy like the Joker, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And she's a little more down to earth like Batman, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of different stuff.
So, what's next for Hit Girl? Well, amongst numerous other projects, Chloe told us she's super excited to start filming Amy Mann's first feature film, The Fields, which is based on the true story of the Texas killing fields and is scheduled to hit theaters in 2011.